Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not, funny show, Reviews. I am Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And today we're going to be reviewing the 8th episode of Clarice, returning after a couple-week hiatus, and that episode is entitled Add-a-Bead. So, was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Stick around because I have opinions. Clarice, episode 8, entitled Add-a-Bead. Clarice returning after a couple-week hiatus, I don't know, due to COVID or just they planned it. Who knows? Either way, they're back, and they're back to deal with the fallout of the previous episode, wherein we discovered the man who attacked Clarice while she was, while she was trapped by that horrible nurse. He is, in fact, a big, high-powered, high-income lawyer who is going to be doing Paul Krendler's divorce, but also is blackmailing Paul into backing off of the case. So, what's the VICAP team going to do? Because they trust Clarice now. If she says something happened, they believe her, and which I think is a great development. VICAP team has finally come together, and they are believing in each other, and they're supporting their most junior and most vulnerable member. To the point where Murray goes and really has to ask Krendler, what the heck? What are you doing? This is not you. Why are you doing like this? And he has to tell them to back off because, in a way, he has his nuts in a vice. So, at the same time, we see that Ardelia, who has been sidelined her whole career in the FBI, has made some notoriety, got her name attached to something because she did a big thing with a cold case and DNA evidence, and with the help of, with the help of Clarice, she's able to break a case and kind of like get out there. And any other time, that would be great for the agent involved, but not for Ardelia. This is the early 90s. Things are still kind of messed up for agents of color in the agency. And she's basically told she's a glory hound for doing her job and getting some notoriety and getting out from behind the desk. And she's also told, good job, you've made DNA a thing, we're going to full court press on that. And that douchebag director or whatever that was causing all the problems before for VICAP, he's also her boss, and he's like, don't just sit, be patient. Everything's going to work out for you. And he does the dick move of picking an agent less qualified and less, has no idea about DNA and whatever, and making him her boss and taking her entire, not just case, taking away her entire department and her entire funding for the, for the team, for the research that she personally got for DNA evidence, and taking away and giving it to somebody else. Surprise, some white guy that graduated Quantico at the same time, who has been moving and shaking already, and taking her opportunity away. And that drives her into actually realizing she needs to join the Black Coalition at the agency of agents who have been passed over unfairly, unjustly. And she is the best, she's the best example of this, because she apparently is one of the foremost expert on DNA evidence at the time in the agency. And she's going to be swept aside in order to make some, rando look good. If you're not pissed off for Ardelia, you should be, because she's a great character and she's a great friend, and she's getting screwed over here. Speaking of getting screwed over, what about Clarice? She's wondering what the heck, what's all about this? We're going to drop the case. We're not pursuing the murders anymore. We got somebody for this. And she literally says, there's this dude. He hit me. He's in cahoots. And Krendler's all like, oh, well, we're dropping this. But you know what? You never keep a good Clarice down, and you don't keep a good Esquivel down, too. They pursue yet another case, the case of the week in this situation, of a young Eastern European woman, I believe she was Bosnian, who apparently committed suicide, and it's very strange. And they figure out by talking to the U.S. attorney, the assistant U.S. attorney, that this woman had come to her wanting to inform on the very same lawyer who smacked the shit out of Clarice in a previous episode. What are they going to do? They go and they investigate the whole situation to find out that the young lady was pregnant and had birth defects in her fetus. That probably came from whatever drug from the pharmaceutical company that was doing the very same research trials that led to the 3 women that were, dumped into the rivers. Big mystery. The conspiracy is coming all together. All right. it's coming all together. And this guy's a major linchpin. But unfortunately, Paul Krendler, he's not playing ball. Oh, wait a minute. You're saying he is? Oh, Krendler is not a piece of crap. We can't. That's one of the great things about the show. He's not a piece of crap like he is portrayed in other media. In fact, he believes Clarice. He's just kind of again, has his nuts in a vice. But that doesn't mean he's not a good agent and he's not going to try to do the right thing. And in this case, he collects some DNA so that he can be sure that it is, in fact, this guy that smacked the shit out of Clarice and is obstructing and is probably at the head of this entire conspiracy. And he brings it to the whole VICAP team in secret to say, hey, we could go arrest him now for, beating you up. Or we could string him along and get him for the entire rap. And so it all comes full circle. The lack of trust, or the seeming lack of trust that we were going to invest in Paul Krendler, erased. We can trust him. The VICAP team is all on the same page. They're ready to take this motherfucker down. And I'm all for it. Meanwhile, Clarice, she is also she's trying to deal with her trauma with her new therapist, and it's very interesting. You get to hear about her reaction to be getting sent off, being the only one in her family that was sent off after her dad was killed, and the whole significance of her Add-a-Bead necklace, and all. It's all very interesting and character building. But also, we really get to see her mention Hannibal Lecter, not by name, but by, we know who they're talking about. And kind of her trauma is it related to him? And she says it's not. And she's not afraid of him. She's not afraid of him coming after her. And we kind of see referencing to the whole Silence of the Lamb thing as she is trying to deal with the trauma of, not just Buffalo Bill, but the most recent trauma, and trying to decide and figure out if she is actually ready to be in the field again. It's all very interesting and very, I think, good work on the character to get her moving forward so that she's no longer a victim, but she's actually taking ownership and, she's trying to get out there actively to heal herself. Very good stuff. So that's the whole episode, and I have to say, I had a good time with it. It's not a whole lot of action. There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of moving of chess pieces. Everything's being set up. There was the little turnabout where we thought Krendler was going to be on the take, but instead he's going to try to take this guy all the way to the slammer with the help of the VICAP team. And of course we have some movement on other people's fronts all the way around. It's a setup episode, but in a good way, where we learn a little bit more about each of the characters. We learn a little bit more about the situation, and we are prepared as this train prepares to come into the station. There are definitely some threads that are about to be brought to an end, and one of them has to be this whole conspiracy thing. And I'm really looking forward to it because this guy the lawyer's being set up as a pretty great antagonist. So all the way around, liked it. I won't say loved it, but I really liked it. I think it's a good episode. You should be watching this show. Clarice is turning out to be quite a gem for this TV season. So that's my review of Clarice episode 8 entitled Add-a-Bead. What did you guys think of it? And what did you think of my review? Why don't you get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And hey, if you want to talk to me about it, elsewhere besides on the comments, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. We can chop it up about Clarice. And hey, are you subscribed to the Super Not Funny Show? What? You're not? What are you doing? Get down there, hit the subscribe button, and while you're there, hit that notification bell. It'll let you know when we are going to be dropping new content, and we do that every week. New reviews and new reactions and anything else that floats our pop culture boat, like the Invincible cast, where me and my friend Lottie, we talk about the great show Invincible that's blowing up right now. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks once again for joining me on this review of Clarice, and join me next week when we review the very next episode of Clarice. Until then, I've been Jen Thépuppét, your resident fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.